What to do with your list of ideas. Hello, Randy Carney here with another session of Walking with Randy, where we talk about writing, speaking, coaching, marketing, and marriage. Today we're continuing to talk about writing. Now, in the previous sessions, here's what we've done. We talked about the need of coming up with a list of 50 by eliminating 3 of those items. So what that means is you have ended up with a list of 12 to 15 ideas. Now, what do you do with those 12 to 15 ideas? Well, I'm going to give you 3 optional things you can do and 2 required things. They're required from the sense of using the system that I'm talking about. So the 3 optional things, we'll talk about 2 of them first. The first one is you can do a mind map. Now, you may have already done that before, and if you did, then you've already completed that optional session. Although after you have refined your list, you may want to do it again. Depends on how much you like mind maps. In the center of your page, you write the topic or the title of your chapter, the topic of your chapter, and then you take your 12 to 15 ideas and run them out as strands away from the center of the page. So you draw a line out and put one of your 15 ideas there. And then if there's another one that related to that, continued in the strand of thought, you would draw another line up from that to the other one. You draw little circles around those where it looks like cartoons. And then once that strand is run out, you return to the center of the page. You draw another line out from the center, put another one of your ideas there, the one that relates. And then if there's a grouping of those, then you continue that strand of thought. And you keep doing that until you've used all of your ideas. That's optional, but it would help clarify things in your mind. Then another optional thing to do after you have done that is to take your mind map and then reformulate it as an outline with Roman numerals for your major points and with letters or numbers for your subpoints. So those are the 2 optional things you can do with it. But here's what's really necessary in using those 12 to 15 ideas. You need to arrange them in the best order. The best order. So your mind map would have helped you clarify that somewhat because you were grouping them together in strands of thought. But to list these 12 to 15 ideas in the best order for you and for your reader. Okay. Now, here is another optional thing, but this one is highly recommended, that you put some headings within your chapters. Now, of course, I'm talking about nonfiction here. If we're talking about fiction, then you don't put the headings in usually. You would just want to have your order of your ideas in the best order that fits your story. So, I'm sorry, I just had to say bye to my wife. She was leaving for work there. Put them in the best order. And if it's nonfiction, this is optional, but I recommend that you break up your chapter with some headings. Now, if you have done an outline, you have already figured that out because you have some Roman numerals that you have figured out already, and those more than likely would be your headings. Now, if you didn't do the mind map and the outline, and you just came up with your order of ideas, then look to see where you could insert some headings. Probably 3 to 5 would be a good number, but see what fits in what you're doing. Okay, so we've got our 3 optional things: the mind map, the outline, and in nonfiction, it's optional, but highly recommended that you insert some headings. Now, the required things is that you have these 12 to 15 ideas written in the best order. If it's nonfiction, you've probably inserted some headings. And then the next thing for this system is to turn each of those ideas into a question. Just put who, what, where, why, how in front of your statement, and put a question mark at the end and rearrange it to where it sounds right. And you now have a list of 12 to 15 questions for each chapter of your book. And you would have then headings in between those questions at the appropriate places. Remember way back when we talked about some secrets for writing and getting your mind to get in gear and doing this? For instance, we said, write about car. Well, it may take you a while to think about that, but if you were to say, what kind of car do you have? What was your earliest car? What was the make of your earliest car? How did you like your earliest car? What kind of car do you have now? What color is your car? All those kind of things, you can just start writing. You can just answer those questions. And so that's the secret here. Put those 12 to 15 items that we came up with in the correct order and then turn them into questions. Now you can even do that for fiction too. You've got them listed probably as chronological events, so to speak, but still turn those into questions, and then you will be ready to start writing. So we will have one more session following this strand of thought. So today we were talking about what to do with your list of 12 to 15 items. And just to review, optionally, you can do a mind map. Optionally, you can form an outline. Then, necessarily though, put those lists of 12 to 15 items in the correct order. And then optionally, but recommended for nonfiction at least, put some headings between some of those ideas. And then to really make this work, turn each of those ideas into a question. Okay, well, this has been another session of Walking with Randy, where we talk about writing, speaking, coaching, marketing, and marriage. And so next time we talk about writing, we will have one more session telling you even more how these questions can benefit you in being able to get yourself triggered to write. If you want more tips like these, go to randysblogs.com. And if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, why not subscribe to my YouTube channel? Also, if you put in a comment or like what we're doing, that would be helpful too. Until next time, for another session of Walking with Randy, I'm Randy Carney. Have a great day.